The Lady Highland Springs Springers look to make yet another deep state run on the basketball court and punch their ticket to the state finals. Welcome to Sports Wire. I'm Will Catterley. Highland Springs is no stranger to the big stage. After all, the Lady Springers basketball team has advanced to the state semifinals for 4 straight years, going into Friday night's contest with Norview. Head coach Franklin Harris's club was looking to make it 5, but first had to beat a team that Harris said was a mirror image of Highland Springs.
And make no mistake, this was a heavyweight fight. Norview, Highland Springs played at Glen Allen. The winner advancing to the state semifinals. Early on, I said mirror images of each other. It was Highland Springs who would take the early advantage. Iana Rogers played huge in this one. You'll hear more of her. First quarter highlights, Springers have the early lead. India, Daly, double. Kansas, Springers up early and often. More Highland Springs. This looked like, your normal Highland Springs Springers basketball team. More for Rogers, 2 more. Still first quarter. Rogers out to Sydney Boone. Hi, how are you? Well, she misses that one. Rogers, the putback. 2 of her 14 points on the night. She also had 12 boards. Norview finally got things going, and they would do it on the offensive glass. Leisha Foreman puts that one up and in. Later, free throw, no. Offensive rebounds, killer for Norview against Highland Springs. Diamond Wiggins mitigates the damage, 16-8 after 1. Still Highland Springs up comfortably, right? Well, second quarter, Pilots do what the Springers do and what the Pilots do best. Turnovers, defense leading offense. Leisha Foreman for 2 off the steal. Here come the Pilots again. Similar looking play right there. Scoop, score, Diamond Wiggins. Norview just down 4. Springers had answers, however. And who else? Inside, Iana Rogers, just huge. She wasn't just big scoring the basketball, she was huge on defense as well. Check it out. The block! That was just one of 7 blocks on the night for Rogers. Springers needed her desperately, and she came up big in a huge way. Back comes Norview, though, not to be denied. Diamond Wiggins, glittering. She scores 2. Still first half highlights. Springers, the answer from long range, yeah. That's good for 3. Sydney Boone, how are you? 21 points on the evening, 31-23 Springers in the third. More Highland Springs. Looks like they're going to run away with this one in the second half. India Daly double lays it up and in for 2. She had a strong evening. Springers back up to a double-digit lead, I should say. Then Daly dishes it down low for a dime to Rogers. 2 more for her. Springers on the move once again, trying to break the spirit of Norview. How about Kia Boyd? Talk about English on a basketball. Gets that one up and in. Highland Springs would have a 15-point lead midway through the third quarter. Then what happens? Well, rebounding and transition offense for Norview would get them back in the game. Micaiah Tynes just in time for the Pilots. Lady Pilots getting the loose balls too and creating. Girl in her face. She doesn't care. Janaya Guicu for 3. All of a sudden, a 15-point lead is evaporated. We are all tied up until Sydney Boone says, well, no, I'm going to hit a 3 ball. Needed that one to go. 3 of her 21 points on the night. Later, late in the third, more Pilot defense. Leisha Foreman, good for 2. 6-point lead for the Springers, however, 45-39. We go to the fourth and final stanza. Maybe. Back comes Norview. The 3 ball, no, but the offensive glass. They cleaned up the boards. Diamond Wiggins for 2. Still down, but not out. Pilots pressing. The pass, not to be denied. Count it and 1. Janaya Guicu. She connects and gets a 3-point play later. Pilots. 3 ball, no. Rebound, she just wants it more and gets it up and in. All of a sudden, the Pilots have tied it late. Biggest basket of her career. Lucy Bassett makes the basket. It's a 3. It's like, she's like, whatever, I've done this before. All of a sudden, Springers back up 3. Back come the Pilots, however. Up and in, good. Michaela Tynes. We're tied at 53. That's a situation. 19 seconds to go. Springer's last chance. Norview the steal. Layup will win it. No! Wait. Rogers to Boone. Layup will win it. No! We are going to extra time. Overtime. Springer's 53. Pilots 53. Put 4 minutes on the clock. Let's have some fun. India, Daly, double. Got it! That would give the Highland Springs Springers the lead, and then later they would dominate on the line. 3 of 5 from the free throw line in overtime for Sydney Boone. Gives Highland Springs a 4-point lead, and last seconds come off the clock. 3 ball, no good. Wouldn't have mattered if it counted. Springers survive and advance. If you look it up in the dictionary, that's exactly how it looks. Highland Springs, tough, gritty win as they take down Norview. And the guys' team is there to celebrate with the ladies as well. Final score, Springers 59, Norview 55.
Oh, this was big time. I'm so proud of them because they could have folded. They could have dropped the heads. You know, we lost the lead or they tied it up, and they got some rebounds against us, but we fought. We kept sticking it out, and we made plays when we had to.
A huge performance down the stretch helped pave the way for Highland Springs, and with a victory Tuesday night, the Springers head to the state championship game for the 4th time in 7 years. More details on their win over Patrick Henry of Roanoke coming up in Up-Tempo. Meanwhile, in the guys' bracket, Henrico had to deal with Norview as well. The high-flying green and gold had to deal with the Pirates' length and hot shooting if they wanted to survive and advance.
So on to the nightcap at Glen Allen. Henrico, Norview, to the winner go the spoils. A spot in the state semifinals. Once again, first quarter, just like the Lady Springers. Hey, Henrico got it going early. Up and in, Zayever, wherever, spread your wings and fly field for 2. Warriors with the early lead. This guy, he'd be a problem. Yeah, Jamal Madison connects from long range. 3 ball up and in. Norview had more than their fair share from beyond the arc. Jeremiah Langley says, thank you very much. I'll connect from 2. Henrico, very competitive. Matter of fact, the better team early in the game. They would have the lead early. Jamal Ested, or Jame Ested, I should say, knocks that one down from 3. Warriors in front. Problem was, that's the only 3 Henrico hit all game long. Jamal Madison said, I hit more than your team did. Hits a 3. That's his 2nd of the evening. We're still just in the first quarter. Then Madison going to take it all the way to the rack. Little float or nothing but nylon. I'm telling you, the guy was a problem. He was scoring in bunches. The Pilots on the move again. Why not? Corner pocket. Got it to go. Norview all of a sudden up 1, 14-13, second quarter. No problem, right? Warriors have dealt with more adversity than that. Jame Ested, count it, and 1. Got that one to go, converts the 3-point play. Norview was executing, though, like a fine-tuned machine. The 3 ball from anywhere and everywhere, it was going in. That one was good. Henrico countering with a tough step back, too. Zayever, wherever, spread your wings and fly field. He gets it to go. More Warriors on the offensive end. Jame Ested, yeah. Pretty much can create his own offense. He's done it all year long. He was terrific in this one. But Jamal was even more. Madison, Mr. Madison and company, they were taking care of business from beyond the arc. 29-22, Pilots by 7. We go to the second half. Ested trying to will the Warriors back. Got it to go and 1. Henrico would cut it to 4. Then the Pilots go back on their run. This time inside out offense works really well when you're cannon 3s, doesn't it? Jamal, again, he hit 4 threes in the first just to make it 29-22 at the half. And then later, with 25 total points, here he comes into the lane, got to go. Ested had 21 to keep Henrico honest. Looks like Henrico is done. 3 ball, put him away, got it. Norview up by as much as 15, and yeah, he's so hot he's got to cool down. But Henrico, they've got the Warrior in them. That's why they're the green and gold. Jeremiah Langley, good for 2, counted and the foul. 45-34 after 3. Okay, 11-point game. Fourth quarter, Henrico made their living at the free throw line. And before you knew it, Warriors had brought this game, which was at one point down 11. They're now down by 4 with just under 2 minutes to go. It's anybody's game. Pilots just continued to find ways. The offensive rebound, paramount. Got it to go. Norview wins it 61-50.
Well, as basketball comes to a close, spring sports are blooming with the regular season right on the horizon. That means teams like Glen Allen baseball will look to rebound from last year's tenure, while Deep Run girls soccer try to reach the promised land of the state finals once again with a new cast of starters. We'll take a deeper look straight ahead.
Now for another 2-minute history report.
We all know about the blockbuster, World War II, the famous attacks, the military heroes. But what do you know about the prequel, the First World War? At the time, they didn't call it World War I. No one ever imagined there'd be another. It was known as the Great War, or the War to End All Wars. In the early 20th century, Europe had a bit of a different look. There were the Fab Four empires, ruled by monarchs who maintained a delicate balance of power. Then, in the summer of 1914, a group of assassins attempted to blow up Austrian Archduke Franz Ferdinand while he was touring Bosnia. The attempt failed, but later in the day, an assassin's bullet prevailed. In retaliation, the Austro-Hungarian Empire declared war on Serbia. Russia immediately came to Serbia's support, which motivated Germany to declare war on Russia. Before long, France, Belgium, Luxembourg, and Great Britain were involved.
Jolly good.
Everyone polarized into two groups, the Allied powers and the Central powers. New technologies dominated this world conflict. Tanks, machine guns, and airplanes changed the way armies battled. Trenches and tunnels became the new strategy, although that led to soggy problems. The British and German navies dominated the seas. Then in May of 1915, Germany sank the Lusitania, killing 128 Americans. President Woodrow Wilson demanded Germany change their tactics.
I demand it.
Germany appeared to comply, but later offered to finance Mexico in a war against the U.S., so the United States joined the war.
Oops.
A year later, on August 8th, the Allied forces began the 100 Days Offensive. This series of assaults forced the German forces back and eventually led to the war's conclusion. On the 11th hour, on the 11th day of the 11th month, a ceasefire went into effect. Then came the Treaty of Versailles and the formation of the League of Nations. This war changed the landscape of Europe. Monarchs were out, the four great empires were gone, and new countries emerged. So here it is in a nutshell. Europe used to be led by the Big Four, until a bullet made Franz no more. Conflicts arose, triggering numerous hawks. Success meant machine guns, tanks, and dry socks. The ceasefire became a celebrated day, although the next war was just a few years away.
That was World War I in 2 minutes.
Welcome back to Sports Wire. Baseball season is nearly here, and that means several Henrico teams will look for continued success, while others try to make a massive turnaround. That's exactly what Glen Allen looks to do on the diamond. And in 2020, the pack is showing strength in numbers.
Come through it. Sooner with the other hand, Hyde.
We have this thing here called the pack mentality. Their ego being subservient to the team and buying into the whole team concept. And the teams that we've had that have done that well have won state championship and done very well. The teams that haven't done that well have struggled. So I get a vibe from this team. They're a competitive group, and I think they're going to buy into that, and I think that's going to be the difference.
And it's the biggest pack this program has ever seen, with 24 players and 15 returners. Glen Allen looks to go full circle, back to their championship years just a few seasons ago.
I mean, having the pack mentality, you know, it's a big thing in the Glen Allen program. Trusting everybody on the team and on the field is a big thing, and having energy behind your pitcher or behind anybody hitting or etc. You know, it's a big deal.
If you put down bunts, teams aren't going to know what to do with those bunts.
And when you're turning around a 9-win team, the little things mean everything. On this day, it's all about the sacrifice bunt. And like everything else, this is a competition.
There you go.
Infielders versus outfielders plus catchers. Just another way for these players to be ready for the moment that counts.
And that's why you do it. You want them to feel the pressure. You heard them. They were all jazzing each other and everything, and that's why you do it, because next week they're going to have to do it in that situation in a real ball game.
Their top 3 pitchers are young but talented. Their lineup should be much improved, but make no mistake, Glen Allen's strength, quite possibly, is their defense.
We got a lot of speed, team speed on defense, and we're going to pick it up and throw it. Most of the guys are returning from last year that we've got out there on defense, so they know what they're doing.
Get that ring, of course. You know, I always want to be on that big screen with my guys, with holding up a state championship trophy with the coaches and with the staff that we have this year.
Just 1 year ago, Deep Run girls soccer made it all the way to the state championship game. Grit, determination, and a team chock full of talent almost brought home the title. Fast forward to 2020, and the Wildcats have some new faces, but still plenty of reasons to be a dangerous side when the new season kicks off.
Every year, the Deep Run Lady Wildcats field a team capable of winning it all. This season, head coach Stephen Chapman has to rely on an infusion of youth.
So the girls that are returning know how we play, know our system of play. It's a matter of replacing 7 players who can come and quickly merge into that style of play. We have 5 freshmen that we think are talented enough to help us out, and some of them may see the field quite a bit.
We were just talking about it actually on the bus on the way here, how it felt like literally just yesterday that we were the freshmen. 3 years later, we're the seniors, and we know the pressure that they feel is just natural, and we're just trying to make everyone feel as comfortable as they can, because we were in their shoes and we know how nerve-wracking it can be. But I think everybody's feeling pretty comfortable with each other, so that definitely helps.
Having a solid keeper in Cameron Miller doesn't hurt either.
We're really excited by Cameron Miller, and Cameron's a junior. She's been a backup for 2 years, and Cameron is just biting at the bit, ready to go.
Meanwhile, there's still plenty of talent to go around here in 2020.
Jess Lagon, she got pulled up last year, and we had a few injuries going into state finals, and so one of her biggest, I think, contributors last year was she actually played almost the whole game in states last year, coming up from JV. And so definitely now she has the confidence knowing that she can compete with everyone.
Senior defender Lily McMichael relishes her new role as captain, as she looks forward to keeping the defense on point.
Goals usually every season is to allow as few goals as we can, and that definitely starts with our goalkeepers too. We've always had really strong keepers with communication, and our center backs have always been really strong.
All part of Coach Chapman's plan.
My job as the head coach is really to put the orchestra together and get them to play some beautiful music, in this case, beautiful soccer.
State finals. That's since freshman year, we've gotten to state semis. My freshman year, sophomore year, state semis. Finals last year, thought that was going to be it. So definitely this last and final year, we want that state championship.
The Wildcats will be once again in a very competitive Class 5 region. Glen Allen may be one of the top teams to beat, as they returned plenty from last year's squad and were the only ones to beat Deep Run in the regular season. Well, we look back at the best of the best when we return. Top plays from February and more. See who's number 1. That's next.
Thank you. You got a king?
Go fish!
It only takes a moment to make a moment. Take time to be a dad today.
So, same time next week?
Well, of course. Put away a few bucks, feel like $1,000,000. For free tips to help you save, go to Feed the Pig.
Welcome back to the show. Let's go up tempo. We start with ladies hoops, where Highland Springs returns to the state championship game after a 59-35 win over Patrick Henry of Roanoke. The Springers were led by Ayanna Rogers' double-double. She tallied 16 points and 10 rebounds in the victory. They face Princess Anne, who coming into the championship match have won 6 straight state titles. Of course, that means that Henrico's season came to an end in ladies hoops. Princess Anne beat the Warriors 91-48. Still an amazing year for the Green and Gold, who made it to states for the first time since 2000. The Varina boys team is also done. After falling to Green Run 78-52, Amari Baylor poured in 16 points to go along with 14 rebounds as Varina made it to the state playoffs now for 4 straight seasons. And let's go across the pond now, shall we, as former Highland Springs Springer and former VCU Ram Brandon Roselle continues to light it up for BC Luleå. A huge part of the Swedish professional team who competes in the Basketligan, Roselle scored 37 points in an 84-78 win over Boris. Closer to home, former deep run star Georgie Pacheco put up 6 points and 3 assists as his Liberty Flames clinched their bid to the NCAA tournament. Liberty beat Lipscomb in the Atlantic Sun Finals 73-57. This is the second straight NCAA appearance for Pacheco and the Flames.
Time for the often imitated, never quite duplicated top plays of the month, number 5. Top plays from February. We start with basketball. It's Freeman's Caleb. Kenny Dipsy-Doo, how are you? What a scoop and score. 20 points on the night in a win against arch rival Mills Godwin and a block. Averaging a couple of those a game. He was big in the Rebel win. Number 4, let's go to the track. This is going to be quick because it's only a 7-second clip. Because Keandre Midget for Highland Springs flat out flew, winning regionals, beating his regional record, and then winning the 55-meter hurdles in states as well as the triple jump. State champs, my friends. Number 3, speaking of state championships, let's go to the pool and take a dip, shall we? Heck, the weather's been warm enough, right? Mr. Aiden Duffy, you see in, I believe it was lane 4, 200 IM. He's going to get pumped when he gets this victory. Looks up. Yeah, not only did you get the win, big fella, you also got the regional championship for Douglas Freeman, and the Freeman Rebels are your swimming state champs. Number 2, back to basketball. Nobody did it like Jada Walker. Want to see that again? Going through 2 defenders, playoffs, Midlothian Trojans. Let's see it. And freeze it. 2 defenders, watch the ball fake. And handles. Oh my, and footwork. I had to struggle with not putting that number 1. It's a daily double for Henrico. Behold the green and gold. Why? Well, he put a little extra showmanship into this one. The dunk, the kiss I ever. Spread your wings and fly field. Gets the dunk and the win as the Warriors make it back to states. Good enough for top play of the month.
Remember, if you have questions or comments about the show, just send me an email to this address, sportswire@henrico.k12.va.us, and you can always follow us on Twitter. I can't wait to see ya next time on Sportswire.
If you want to see more videos like these, subscribe to our YouTube channel.